Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking a little mixed martial arts with some guys that know a little something about mixed martial arts. If you care to join us on the program, feel free to give us a call at 456-770-1280 or text the word ZONE to 53318 followed by your message and text in whatever questions you might have. This segment is brought to you by Beehive Bell Bonds because sometimes bad things happen to good people. And as promised, we've got the Ultimate Fighter superstar, Ramsey Nijem, on the phone. Ramsey, you there, my man?
I'm here.
How's it going?
It's going real good. How about you?
Well, it's going pretty good over here. In fact, we've got a very beautiful man in studio here, Adam Legas. And I understand you know this guy a little bit?
Just here and there. I see him at the gym doing some curls or something like that. Sometimes, he's got...
Does he ever have a shirt on?
No, I've never seen him with. I don't think he owns a shirt. He owns a shirt company, but not a shirt.
Yeah, that's true. That is. But I try to, I wrap him around my waist though, Ramsey. I just was dancing for him in a bikini, and they said that your body beat me. I was pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Ramsey, now you've been doing this for a short period of time. Relative to some of these guys you're in the house with. What do you attribute your success to?
Well, I wrestled in college, and obviously a lot of people say that, but I've been competing since I was a young kid in wrestling, all different sports, and I just think it's my competitive nature. I can just turn it on, and a lot of these guys might be better fighters than me, but the house gets to them, they mentally break down, and I felt like I was mentally tougher, and I could just turn it on in an environment where it's dead quiet. There's 7 people in the stands, and I just love to fight, so I'm just going to go out there and try to hurt someone.
So did you have that kind of insight going into it? Because, Court McGee obviously had just been through that. I mean, that is such a big part. When you're talking reality TV, there is that other element, not just the fighting. So did you feel like maybe in talking to Court, was that able to help prepare you for that?
Oh, yeah, obviously, having some insider from someone who did pretty well on the show, it was pretty nice. And then I've got to know Jonathan Brookins because he's out training with us now, so... just talking to those guys and just kind of, learning a couple tricks to help stay focused and, ready to fight. And it's just kind of, you got to learn how to turn off the cameras and turn off, the house drama and just relax and get ready for your own fight.
So Jonathan's out there helping you train for that finals match that you're getting ready for, right?
The semifinals is coming up.
I was going to get you on that one. Let's take a step back in time a little bit. You fought once, and then you didn't fight again for 19 months, I understand. Where'd you go, and what were you doing? Were you fight training? What'd you do?
No, I was actually wrestling. I finished off my wrestling career. That first fight I did on the first showdown, and I fought that BYU kid, and it was fun and all, but wrestling was still paying for college, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, that was a fun thing to do. Well, time to go back to wrestling season. So I wrestled out that last year, finished up school, and then I just started training because, Court and the guys here wanted someone to come in and wrestle with them. And I started, just taking them down, getting punched in the face a lot. And I was like, man, this is kind of sucks. I should learn how to not get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I started developing, skills. And then I started to, fall in love with the sport. And, now I'm in the gym 6 hours a day, and I love what I do.
Living the dream, right?
So the trick is to not get punched in the face.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
All right, so now, obviously you can't tell us what happened in the show, but when you got to the house, how do you think you stacked up to the competition? Did you feel at that time that you could compete with those guys? Have you exceeded your expectations? How did you feel right from the get-go?
Well, when I first got there, everyone was a little bit bigger than me because, I fought 55, and I'm not a very big 70-pounder. So I was smaller. I was the youngest guy there, most inexperienced, and everyone was talking about, who's trained with who and at what gyms and for how many years they've done this. And when it got to me, I was like, well, I've been training down at the it used to be Throwdown gym and, down in Orem, and people were like, oh, really? With who? I'm like, Court, and just name off, Steve Siler, people that, you don't really know. And so it was just kind of funny, like everyone just thought I was a goofball and get my butt kicked.
Well, what do you mean they thought you were a goofball?
Well, they knew I was a goofball, but
okay.
I was just there for TV.
And then you proved them right.
Yeah, I proved them right when I got naked on that pool table.
Speaking of, did your mom watch that episode this week?
Yeah, she did.
Was she super proud?
To be honest, it's probably more proud than the other guy who got drunk and made a dick. At least I was sober and just being weird, and not as being a jerk to people.
Yeah. We're just naked at the time.
He wasn't fully naked, but he was getting water thrown on him while he's on a pool table.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, when you came into the house, obviously you saw yourself being in the finals. If you could pick one guy, who would you have picked to be in the finals with you? Who do you think was the toughest guy going in there?
To be honest, I thought Justin Edwards. You know, he lost his first fight. He was one that got up kicked, you know, and I really, if he had that second chance, you know, I really thought he was the toughest guy there. And, you know, obviously, you know, Cope, you know, he surprised people, and, you know, Chuck's a dangerous fighter. So it was kind of hard to see because it's just all about matchups and, you know, who's going to show up on what day, because it's just such a weird, you know, environment that people just don't show up.
Yeah, you saw that with Chuck, where his first fight he did not look good at all, and then his last two fights he's been tough, and I gotta say I see him and you in the finals. That's what my picks have been for the episodes. So since
Hey, Ramsey, I was just curious. This is Adam, and we haven't talked about this, but how did you feel like Shamar's wrestling was really? I mean, because everyone talked about his wrestling, and I'm sure you wrestled with him a lot. How was it?
I mean, I don't want to sound like bad, but he's not technical. He's an explosive dude, and he's gotten away with subpar wrestling for a long time and never, you know, refined his technique. And someone like me, you know, I'm not a specimen, in case you haven't noticed. And
I think you are, and I know Mary does.
My wrestling, you know, is a lot more technical, and you know, I wouldn't get taken down by him, and I could take him down pretty much at will. And it's just a different level, you know, because he wrestled his senior year only in high school, then went Division III, and then you know, I wrestled since, you know, for 12, 13 years, and I was a Division I wrestler. So it's just, you know, it's just two different levels, basically.
Now, Ramsey, I'm listening to the conversation here. I've obviously never spoken with you before, but we had Jeff Monson on a couple weeks ago. He's got a master's degree. You're a very articulate guy, man. Where does that come from, and how do you think that plays into your fighting? Because, I mean, you're clearly a very heady individual.
Well, you know, I got my degree in business, you know, school, and, you know, I've studied hard, got good grades, and, you know, I'm a little bit of a bookworm, too. I read a lot and stuff, and I think it helps with my fighting, you know. You know, I'm not dumb, and it kind of takes away pressure. Like, some of these people are going to say, oh, if I don't make it as a fighter, I have nothing to do. I'm nothing without fighting. And they put so much pressure on themselves. Me, you know, fighting doesn't define me, and it's something I love to do. And so it just kind of helps, I think, take the pressure off. And, you know, I have my degree I can always fall back on. You know, I know I'll always be able to make it in the world without fighting, but it's just, you know, I love to do it, and I'm just excited that it's my career now.
Man, that's a great answer. That's the answer I was hoping to hear from you. So, you know, props to you, man. I've grown to really grow to respect you over the conversation here. You got one last question for me?
Yeah, where can people come watch the fights with you? I hear they can come watch them live with you.
Yeah, they can watch them in Wingnuts. I've been there every week.
Oh, tomorrow night's fights.
No, the Ultimate
finals.
Fighter,
I see. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
yeah.
Watch the show.
Ultimate Fighter. I've been watching at Wingnuts, but
which Wingnuts?
Wingnuts in Orem, down here next to the movie theater, like in the University Mall parking lot, and I've been there every Wednesday watching with them. But I'm actually going to be out of town for this last one, so I won't be there. But I mean, they'll still show the fights, and you know, everyone from the team goes over there. So if you want to go watch it with, like, you know, the teammates and stuff, that's where they'll be.
Anybody else want to give a shout out to? I got you on the air here.
You know, just our coach Jason Merlick, and you know, the Will and all the guys that, you know, help keep that gym running and keep me training hard and in shape.
Well, perfect, man. Best of luck to you. And I got to tell you that, you know, we've been following the show here. Our UFC guy here on the show has credited you with saving this season. He thought it was completely boring until you just not only are fighting, but your whole persona. You saved the season for as far as he's concerned. I think a lot of people share that opinion. So congratulations to you and best of luck to you in the future.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
All right, my man. He's humble too. All right, good stuff, man. Ramsey Nijem, we wish him the best of luck in his upcoming semifinal match, and of course his finals match. We hope so too. So we're going to talk some more fight stuff when we come back.